It is, Your Honor.
All right. Mr. Barnett, please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you provide will be the truth to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, I swear, Your Honor.
You need to speak up, all right, sir? Thank you. All right, Ms. Falk, what's the recommendation for Mr. Barnett?
State's recommendation is 12 months served 32 days, credit for time served 16 days. That's going to be from November 6, 2024 until today. Balance probated, 12 weeks anger management, stay away from MARTA, and that's all MARTA. He is currently banned until February 8th, 2026, per the report. That's all for the state. We do ask the defense to stipulate to venue, factual basis, and identification for the purposes of the plea.
Your Honor, we do stipulate for the purposes of the plea, and we would ask that you waive 3 months of probation fee so that he can apply that to his anger management and allow him to go to non-reporting once he's completed the anger management.
Ms. Falk, any objection to non-reporting?
State has no objection to non-reporting, Your Honor.
All right. Mr. Barnett, have you consumed any medicine or alcohol recently?
I've been taking blood pressure meds and sleeping meds, but I haven't consumed anything. Really.
Right. And even after consuming the medication, are you able to understand what's going on presently?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you satisfied with the legal services you've received?
Yes, ma'am. Courtroom 2.
And Mr. Barnett, can you hear me all right? Because I know there's some people talking in the courtroom. Can you hear me all right?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Mr. Barnett, if you decide to plead guilty to this criminal trespass causing damage to property, you would have to give up your constitutional right to a trial. You will not get the opportunity to go back to court to confront your accuser, challenge the evidence that will be brought before you, have the assistance of counsel to present your defenses and arguments, and have the state prove the charge against you beyond a reasonable doubt. Are you prepared to give up those rights?
Yes, ma'am.
How do you plead to 1 count of criminal trespass causing damage?
Austin Falls.
Mr. Barnett, how do you plead to 1 count of criminal trespass?
I plead guilty.
Your sentence is going to be 12 months to serve 32 days. Credit for time served 16 days. Your jail time is concluded. If you have no holds at the jail other than this case, then you will report to probation on Monday before 3 p.m. at 132 Mitchell Street. While you're on probation, you will enroll in complete 12 anger management classes. I will waive your probation fees from now until the end of January 31st, 2025, which means that on February 1st, 2025, you will need to start paying your probation fees. Do you understand, sir?
Wow.
While you're on probation, you need to also stay away from all MARTA property. In fact, you have a ban from all MARTA property until February 2026, which is more than 1 year. Do you understand? So you cannot return to any MARTA train stations, bus stations. You cannot be on any of the buses and trains. You cannot be at their parking lot, their stations, their restrooms, and so forth. And this will be until February of 2026. Understood?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. That concludes the case. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right. Mr. White, I think I've already gone over all the cases. So if you're free to go if you want to. The only matter that I'm addressing now is the bench warrant with Mr. Falk.
Thank you, Your Honor.
On that last case, was the probation going non-reporting?
Oh, sorry. Yes, it'll be non-reporting once he completes his anger management classes and up to date with his probation fees. Sorry, I forgot to add that. All right, Ms. Kim, we ready to move forward?
Yes, Your Honor. But I guess there's one more person.
No. I'm sorry, Judge. He's got a question. Mr. Barnett, he's got another question.
All right.
Excuse me, Your Honor.
Still there? All right. Yes, Mr. Barnett, what's the question?
So when do I get released?
You
Mr.
get
Barnett, like we discussed yesterday, within 24 hours from now, typically.
Okay.
Okay? Hasn't changed.
All right.
all right. Any other questions? from courtroom 2? No? Okay. Mr. Polk has left the Zoom. Oh dear.
Oh, I was on the phone with him. He said he was gonna come back in.
Mr. Jordan, is he in the waiting room?
He hasn't logged back on yet.
I'll give him 6 minutes since his report time was 11 a.m. Thank you. Miss Kim, if you want to try to reach him again, did he? So you were on the phone with him, so there was a good number?
Oh, no, I got new number.
Okay.
called
If you can send the new number to Mr. Jordan so he can update that with Odyssey.
Sure.
And if you could please try calling him again, tell him we are waiting.
Okay.
Tick tock, tick tock. Okay, thank you.
Um, Judges. meeting. Awesome.
Okay. All right, Ms. Kim, I've already indicated the style of this case, which is State versus Taylor Hall, 24 CR 1040E. Mr. Polk has got a bench warrant at the present time, and his signature bond is this through the jail? Yeah. Well, that's currently suspended due to his failure to appear. How would we like to proceed?
Actually, we would like to set aside the bench warrant. This is his first FTA ever, and while he was actually, his father was losing a house because he was residing with his father at the time. The house was foreclosed and they had to be evicted. So meanwhile, there was a lot of missing mails, and as soon as he got settled, he came over to change the address. So we would like to set aside the,
When were they evicted?
I do not have an exact date, Your
All right.
Honor.
Mr. Polk, if you would like, is your client willing to give us some information? Because I don't have enough.
Yes, I can tell you.
Well, you have a right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. So I'll need to know when you changed your address, because one of the requirements of your bond is that you are to update if the defendant changes address, the defendant shall immediately notify in writing the clerk of the state court with the address provided. So I have no indication that you notified us of a change of address until the bench warrant was issued. So, Ms. Kim, did you want to confer with him, or did you want him to waive his right to remain silent?
I think he can answer the when exactly the foreclosure happened.
Please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you provide will be the truth to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, I do.
You were booked into the Fulton County Jail on March 5th, 2024, or thereabouts. And you were released soon after that on a signature bond through the jail. When, at that time, the only address we have on you I don't know whether it was the Rockingham, North Carolina address or some other address.
There's some other address. The Rockingham one is new.
Okay, so it was the former address.
Yeah, 1746 Highland Place, Decatur, Georgia.
Okay, and then you were required to be before Judge Morrison on June 5th, 2024, 9 a.m. and you failed to appear and your signature bond was forfeited.
That's when the eviction happened. Around that time when we was moving everything out the house, and I didn't have nowhere to stay. I was staying in my car.
When were you evicted?
Around June 20th to June 25th. That's when we started getting eviction letters on the doors and stuff.
And when did you come down to the clerk of court to give us your new address?
Like a week or two, I had to find transportation. I had to rent a U-Haul truck so I could drive all the way down there to get that shit.
You have proof that you've done so.
Say that one more time.
Do you have proof that you updated your address between June and October?
Yes.
The only thing we have is an address change on November 14th, 2024.
Right, because I just came down there last week. I didn't have a ride to come down there. I had to get a U-Haul. I had to rent a U-Haul truck to drive down there.
Did you contact the clerk of court by phone, by email, by mail, any way to let us know of your new address?
I did it by phone.
When was this?
Like 2 weeks before the 14th.
Correct. But this was way past the June date.
Yeah, no.
So in June, when you were supposed to appear in court, that was the time you were being evicted.
Yes, I was sleeping in my car. Yes, ma'am.
All right, but the court date was June 5th, and you said you were evicted June 20th.
Right, correct.
So you got notice of the June 5th date before then?
I never had any mail, no, ma'am.
All right. Ms. Desiano, I don't know what else to ask. You can proceed.
Your Honor, the state's position at this point, we would ask the bench warrant to issue. This incident happened in September of 2023. The warrant was taken out for his arrest in October of 2023. He was wanted for a period of time until he was arrested in March. He was on the SCA calendar in March 2024. Of course, he had that arraignment that he failed to appear in June. What I'm hearing from the defendant right now is that he was at the address that he gave the jail at the time he was arrested prior to his eviction on June 20th. And notwithstanding, he still failed to update his address for nearly 6 months. And at this point, he now lives out of state, or I should say moved back out of state because his arrest history prior to the arrest history in Georgia is from North Carolina. So he moved back there. So our concern, of course, is that he's now a flight risk and he won't return to court. He also has an open case in DeKalb County that he has court on December 2nd. And that docket is still showing the wrong address. So hopefully he has travel arrangements to come down here for that. And then again today, we're chasing him down. And this is a repeated pattern that we've had to deal with in resolving this case. And he failed to comply with the conditions of his bond. So we would ask for the bench warrant not be set aside and he be required to turn himself into the jail.
Anything else, Ms. Kim?
Yes, if his bench warrant is not gonna be set aside, we would like to take the plea offer from the solicitor about time served and balance probated.
All right. Is that the plea offer, Ms. Desiano?
Your Honor, the state's recommendation that we is 12 months, served 6 days, credit for time served 3 days. So we're not asking for any more jail time. Balance probated, no further contact with Samira Raper. Stay away from 655 Ethel Street, Family Violence Intervention Program, 40 hours of community service, and no firearms.
Well, he needs to come down to Fulton County. Then he needs to go to DeKalb County because he's got an open case up there. I don't know whether he has a bench warrant from that case, from that court. So, Ms. Kim, do you know if he's got a hold in DeKalb County?
No,
Judge, from what I can see online, the court date that's on the 2nd is an arraignment. His case was just accused in DeKalb County in September, so he
Okay,
probably doesn't have a bench warrant in DeKalb yet if he appears on the 2nd.
the request to set aside the bench warrants denied. Mr. Polk is required to surrender himself to the Fulton County Jail immediately. His bond will be amended to a $2,000 surety bond, with the same conditions in place. Now, if you both decide that you want to address a possible plea in this case, I'm more than willing, but Mr. Polk will have to review the paperwork with Ms. Kim. So we can do it either from the jail or we can do it from, presently if the paperwork's ready for review.
I actually discussed it with him over the phone already, so he understands the plea deals and he wants to take the deal.
All right. And Ms. Kim, has Mr. Polk given you authority to sign on his behalf the plea documents?
Yes.
All right. In that case then, Mr. Polk, please raise your right hand for purposes of the plea. Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you provide will be the truth to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. You have been advised of your right to remain silent. Your attorney is Ms. Kim. And Ms. Desiano, what is the recommendation? I know you just said it, but it was 12 months to serve 6 days, credit for time served 3 days, no further contact with the alleged victim.
Yes, Your Honor, stay away from 655 Ethel Street Family Violence Intervention Program, 40 hours of community service, and no firearms. And we'd ask the defense to stipulate to venue, factual basis, and ID for purposes of the plea. And if Your Honor can sound for Miss Samira Rapper?
I think it's Rapper. Okay. Miss Samira Rapper? Okay, she's not here. Miss Kim, does your client stipulate to the factual basis, venue, and ID, and does he accept the terms?
Yes, he does.
Mr. Polk, have you consumed any medicine or alcohol recently?
No, ma'am.
And have you understood what's been going on so far in this case?
Yes, ma'am.
And are you satisfied with the legal services you've received so far?
Yes, ma'am.
And do you understand what are the terms of the plea offer today?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you tell me what they are?
Yes, I had typed it down for him. Um, 12 months community service.
12 months of community service?
She was talking so fast, so I typed it backwards. I know it was 12 months of,
I'm going to ask Ms. Desiano to read it out again.
yes,
And when I ask you, do you understand what's going on? I appreciate an honest answer.
Your Honor, the state's recommendation is 12 months to serve 6 days, credit for time served 3 days, balance probated, so no more jail time. The remaining sentence would be on probation. No further contact with the victim, Samira Rapper. Stay away from 655 Ethel Street in Atlanta. Take Family Violence Intervention Program. It's a several-week program, and you have to complete all of the classes. Do 40 hours of community service, and while you're on probation, you're not allowed to possess firearms.
I have everything.
All right. So it's not 12 months of community service.
Yes, ma'am. It was the 12 months credit for time served.
So which means that it's 6 days jail time. You've already served 3, so your jail time is concluded because we doubled the days that you've been in jail.
Yes, ma'am.
And you're required to report to probation in Fulton County at 132 Mitchell Street in downtown Atlanta. That would be in Georgia. And you need to do that once a month. You're required to complete a 26-week program of domestic violence classes, and you're required to do 40 hours of community service. Now, the Fulton County, the family violence program, and the 40 hours of community service, you can do that in North Carolina, which I assume that's where you live.
Correct.
but you need to report to Fulton County, Georgia probation once a month.
Yes, ma'am.
And are these the terms to which you've agreed?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And in accepting this plea offer, you understand that you would have to waive your constitutional right to a trial. You will not get an opportunity for a trial before a judge or a jury scheduled in this case. You will not be able to confront your accuser. You will not be able to challenge the evidence that will be brought against you. You and your attorney will also not be able to present your arguments and defenses if you choose to do so. The prosecutor will also not need to prove the charge against you beyond a reasonable doubt. Are you prepared to waive these rights?
Yes.
How do you plead to one count of battery, family violence?
Not guilty.
Mr. Taylor, do you know why the
Guilty.
offer was for probation?
Say it one more time.
Do you know why there was an offer for probation?
No, ma'am, I don't know why.
Okay. So, you know what? I'm not going to do this plea. This man has no clue what he's doing. No, you have no clue. I've already gone through the whole process. I've explained
I
to
have
you.
it typed down right here in front of me. You asked me why do I have
I
probation?
asked you, how do you plead to this charge in
I
exchange
plead guilty.
for going on probation, and you said not guilty.
I plead guilty
Why are you pleading guilty now?
because not guilty didn't sound right. I said the wrong word.
How do you plead to battery, family violence with regards to Samira Raper on September 21st, 2023?
Guilty.
Your sentence is 12 months to serve 6 days, credit for time served 3 days. You will report to the Fulton County Probation Office on Monday. That would be November, is it the 26th?
25th.
25th. So it'll be Monday, November 25th, 2024, before 3 p.m. The Fulton County Probation Office is located at 132 Mitchell Street in downtown Atlanta. You'll be required to report to probation every month. While you're on probation, you will complete a 26-week domestic violence intervention program, and you must enroll in that program within 30 days from today. So by your second probation visit, you must show proof that you have enrolled in such a class.
Okay.
You're also required to do 40 hours of voluntary community service at any nonprofit agency that's classified as a 501c company. The 40 hours of community service must be done at a rate of minimum 5 hours per month until the 40 hours are completed. You can do your community service at any nonprofit agency that is not a church and not a school. Because this is a conviction for battery, family violence by law, you are not allowed to own or possess any firearms. If you own any firearms, they must be surrendered to the local authorities for destruction. You are to report every month until the 12 months of probation are concluded. And the report shall be in person in Fulton County, Georgia, at the probation office I have indicated. Any questions, Mr. Polk?
No, ma'am.
All right, we'll see you on November 25th before 3 p.m. Thank you. All right, Ms. Kim, thank you so much. That concludes the calendar. Any questions?
No question, Your Honor.
All right, everyone, y'all have a good morning, and we'll see you tomorrow. Take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you.